We started this recording by me looking at his face. I think it's
Nice.
really good.
Wow, this is giving me nausea.
All right, what are we
Is it
doing?
high?
The render distance
The
and
cat.
Uh,
I want the
I see the
cat.
village. I think it's that way. So do you want to go that way?
I'm going towards where?
The
Where
south
is the
village?
village?
That's where I'm pointing. It's straight. Just go
Straight.
I want to go
straight.
that way.
Okay. All right, I'm going there.
Okay, where are you
Wait,
going?
are we sleeping? How are we gonna?
We can time the
How?
sleep. Just prioritize getting like a bed in the base
Okay,
first.
but
Are you going that way?
Yeah,
Ewan, where did you go?
I'm
Ewan, where are
going
you
that
going?
way, in
That
the
way?
I'm
direction
going
of the
towards the
cartographer.
desert.
The sea is that way. So I guess
Wait,
I'll go
what's that way?
the sea.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see that island and I like it.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
already hungry. This is kind
I'm
of
going
close.
I'm going this way then.
I,
Let me
I drew a thing to indicate the direction that I'm going in.
Mhm.
Okay, see you guys later.
All right,
All right. Do we want to
roll the
should I
intro.
introduce it now?
Yeah, roll the intro.
Okay, are you recording, Ritik?
I am recording.
We need to find a way to sync up the audio and the video. You want to like say something and give a jump so we can sync it up.
Something.
Jump. Nice. All right. Well, welcome back, folks. It's been a couple weeks since we recorded, and we are on a slightly smaller crew. Gotham is missing. He has final. Imagine that, having to go to college. Huh? Anyway, but yeah, today's topic is UBI, which stands for Universal Basic Income, and just a quick definition, I guess. It's a concept where the government hands out a periodic payment to all citizens or residents. Usually there's an age limit, but yeah, that's the basic idea. Just like checking the mail for a certain amount to literally everybody.
Wait, what did you say about the age limit again?
Like I
You need
think
to
like
be an adult to get it or something.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I just didn't understand that.
Uh-huh. But yeah, that's the concept. So what do you guys think? What's your read on the situation?
You can go ahead with it.
Oh, UBI, I think it's a great thing, and I'm all for it. Especially, it's also great because Canada actually implemented it in 1970s. But they don't have it right now, so I don't know. I think they got rid of that, but I think it's a great idea to replace welfare.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Personally, I don't like it. I don't think it'll be e- economically possible to have it with welfare.
Right.
But this is me thinking. So, yeah, I'm
Okay.
not an economist. So I
And
think
you?
that's my starting.
And Ewan?
So for me, um, it's a cure to a symptom of the fourth industrial evolution, where revolution, where we have um, we have more and more automation. We have more issues around that. Okay, 1 second, I'm dying. Yeah, we have issues around automation where people are not going to be able to be drivers anymore. People are not going to be able to be operators in a factory, things like this. And so there's going to be a crisis of money, and UBI seems on the surface level to solve that. For me, though, there are a lot of nuances that need to be kept in mind. And another huge issue, it's the crisis of meaning. And so we need to make sure that the people not only have that money to survive and also to be good consumers, if that's not the worst way of putting it ever.
Right.
But they need to survive, but they also need some way to find their meaning. And so whatever solution we have for UBI also needs to solve all the other issues. And so it has lots of complexities. and nuances, but I think it's essential if we want to keep going in with technology.
Right. Yeah, and I really like how you kind of like divided it into two different like problems, and I think like that's a good format to structure this. I think I'm gonna run with it. I think for now, I'd be interested in discussing the way I see it. There's three kind of angles to come at this from. There's like an economic slash logical angle where it's like, as a return on investment on the government's part, is this good for taxpayers or not?
Hmm.
And the second angle is a moral angle. So like, it, we start to discuss like the government's role and what's ethically correct, and the like kind of that kind of like ethical frameworks around our existing system and UBI potentially.
Mhm.
And yeah, I guess we can go about it broadly in those two axes and like kind of branch out from there. What do you guys think? Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Perfect. Um, so which one do you get? I think like we can save the ethics for a little bit. Like folks get warmed in. So start with like the math. So you two seem to be proponents. How
Yeah,
would you propose paying for it? Pick whatever country you like, whatever country you're most familiar with. We're inclusive here.
right. Yeah, for me, the- there are there are a lot of things that need to be paid for, and something that's come to my attention like some time back is that we're still funding like the oil industry and the non-renewable energy industry,
Mm-hmm.
and like in America, and I think that's just so much money that can go into actual productive um, into productive money. So where you even if you just give people that money, they'll be able to spend it better than if you just um, gave it to those companies who are building technologies that aren't going to be useful for us in the future. So that's gonna be a huge source for me. It's redirecting those funds,
Okay,
and
actually,
then
like, sorry, I've changed my mind. I think we should take a step back and first do why UBI, the case, like, for the logical economic case for it, and then we can get into the technicalities. Very sorry, my apologies, but to me it
sure,
makes sense this way. Okay, Ritik, you
yeah,
in?
I think
Take it away yet again.
yeah, like the concern with automation is just that, like from an economic standpoint, that our economy thrives on consumption.
Mm-hmm.
So we need people to consume, and when they consume, then businesses get money, and then they innovate, and it goes on like that, and our economy grows nicely, which everyone likes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if most of the people lose their jobs, and it seems like most of them are going to, then most of the consumption also goes away. Because then those people going to, well, yeah, I mean, if they don't like just get up and riot, of course, like if they continue to be obedient citizens, they'll just refocus all their, well, obedient is also like a terrible word, but they'll just refocus their money to healthcare and basic food and all that, which is terrible for like Apple, for example. Who's going to buy an iPhone if you can't afford food? Who's gonna go to Amazon if you can grow your own food or whatever, and you're not gonna buy any luxury items anymore. So for an economy that runs on the sales of unnecessary things, um, we need to give people that spending money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I think if I haven't done the math on this, but I'm sure if you look at someone like Jeff Bezos, and even if there is a higher tax on the rich on people like Jeff Bezos, and he needs to give like $10 million extra per year, like the amount that his stock is going to increase from the new users of Amazon that he's going to get from UBI, will be a lot more than what he pays in taxes. So I think for wealthy people, there's definitely a positive trade-off here, um, that people should be aware of.
Right, right, for sure. Ritik?
Yeah, I really like that and what Ewan said. And another thing is, I think I'd like to add to that is also the fact that it's beneficial for all of us as humans to so that everyone does well, right? Because it's like a selfish argument to I think we have discussed that a little bit on
Right.
this podcast. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like a selfish argument to why it's like a selfish argument towards being selfless.
Right.
And um and yeah, I think so having people lifted out of poverty, like Ewan said, boost the economy because they're consuming more and stuff like that. And also another thing, just not just with automation. So let's say automation does not happen. I also think that with UBI, it'll also boost productivity
Right.
just because everyone will like let's say I am right now working on some job that I don't really care about just because that's the only job I got and I have to work with it so that I can give money to my family or something. Okay. But with UBI, I think you'll be lifted from that and you'd go to, I don't know, like restart school and study something you're actually interested in and get a field there. So, and
Hmm.
if you're working somewhere where you like, I think your productivity is bound to be better.
Hmm.
So
But
that's
what
another.
about,
Yeah.
yeah, for me, the on the productivity thing, I'm sure that that will be the case for a lot of people that if they now get to do what they love and they're not pressured into doing what they hate, then they will become more productive. But I also think there's a huge chunk of people who will, if you just give them cash without any education on how to use it and without any kind of insight or help or like, hey, you can use this money to do something else, you can invest this money, um, then you'll get a lot of people who will actually trap themselves in poverty because they'll think that since the government is giving me money, I don't need to work. Um, so of course I don't have the math on this, but just on a purely like speculative level, that seems like it's as likely and may even be more prevalent if you start giving out money to everyone.
Okay.
Right.
So there. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Okay, so there has been a study on this actually, and you are right that there are people that are going to be doing this, but majority of them aren't that way. Because jobs are to people, jobs aren't just like aren't just about that it is about making money, one of them for sure, like I
Hmm.
provided in my one of my examples, but it's also for it's also to keep yourself occupied, right?
Hmm.
And I think even if like let's say there is a person who just be lazy and not work, but I think eventually they're going to get bored. I mean, how long can you watch TV for or stuff like that, right? Like, especially during the quarantine right now, I have realized that I'm really glad. Like, I was complaining to Rohan just now about how I have summer courses, but I still think that I'm really glad that I'm doing something. It keeps me busy.
Yeah, that's true actually, and I can imagine it's like it's a cynical view that people will just take the money and not be able to lift themselves, but in reality, probably that boredom will kick in and that um, social meaning will probably kick in, and they'll find retraining programs themselves to keep them occupied. Um,
Right.
but yeah.
And also I think a big part of UBI is I think a big part of it is making sure like little punks stop trying to steal your desert temple
Is
and
it
B,
okay? Wait. What is it? What is it? Desert temple.
uh-huh.
Whose terrain is desert? That's right.
Well,
Oh my God,
clearly
we're gonna have
humans
a
have
mob war.
problems with sharing. Anyway, the idea is you give you always give an amount that's not enough to like it's really not enough to live comfortably. It's really just like supplemental income, so everyone can kind of like increase spending and increase their productivity and or like go back to school and just have a little bit more flexibility instead of being like stuck in a really tough position. But like not having enough that they can like live a life that they and society is happy with off that. Because obviously we want to keep people working, we want to keep the economy like churning, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I see
So
that for sure. I think there's going to be this huge potential as well where, um, like, you're actually wasting a lot of human capital by having them do manual labor. I think it's a huge shame, actually.
mhm.
And so once we get UBI and we get all these people unlocked where they now don't have to, um, where they don't have to, yeah, just spend time doing menial tasks.
Right.
You're going to get a whole lot of innovation and productivity.
Mhm.
That's just that we've never really felt before. Um,
Right.
a bunch of artists, intellectuals will just come out of nowhere.
Mhm.
These guys who are truckers or whatever, and maybe we'll see some solutions. Maybe we'll see some art or innovative thoughts, and I think it's gonna be really great.
Yeah, the untapped potential is definitely huge. But like then again, there's always the like argument that like obviously it'll be a lot of people like you do the math real quick and in the US at least it chalks up to around like $4 trillion. So you'd have to go beyond the you'd have to go beyond the current welfare budget that the US has. And I guess like overall as a return on investment, like we'd obviously because it's above the welfare budget, we'd have to cut from elsewhere or we'd have to borrow. So is
Hmm.
it worth that investment? Is it worth the like extra interest, extra like deficit that we're gonna have? And like a lot of people say cut funds to the military. Is that worth it?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
one
I don't think you need to look at the military. It's just that oil industry and their subsidies. Like if you just force companies to be sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense, and that itself will have a huge return on investment. If you just force them to do that, then you'll already get, um, yeah, you'll get that cash, but then you'll also get more efficient production engines in
Mm-hmm.
those industries, and it's like a double win.
Right. I mean, you'll definitely get some cash, but I don't think it'll cover. It's like a huge bill to foot. But I guess like we're not the ones to debate the numbers. I suppose we're more just like theoretical framework type folks. But yeah, yeah, it's super great points that everyone makes.
actually one thing, sorry, going back to numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So Kirk is actually gave a number and they said that if it was implemented $1,000, everyone gets it in the US, then
Mm-hmm.
the GDP will grow by 12%. By 12%.
And where would that? But like the question is, where would that GDP growth be concentrated?
What do you
Would it
mean?
be like equally? Would it be more equally equitably distributed, or would it just widen the like wealth inequality?
Oh, so well, what Kirkzat said was having to tax these people, right?
Mhm.
Tax the rich. So that would bring them closer. So it'll be like an taxing the rich more.
Right.
Well, yeah. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
interesting.
there's something that I've heard about the taxation is that, and I guess this is like the obvious fear, but I've heard it articulated recently, that if you tax wealthy people, then they'll go to a country which has, or tax and regulate wealthy people, then they'll set up shop in a different country, um, a country that's more lenient, and they wouldn't care basically. They would just bounce. So that fear that if they aren't treated well. Or it's kind of like Elon Musk in California recently, where he said, "I'm going to open up. I don't care, and if they don't let me open up, then I'm going to leave California." So
Right.
how do you balance that? Because that's something I'm never able to really conjure.
Well, I think like while that fear is probably valid to a certain extent, I don't think it's a huge thing to worry about because you also have to like, because like these rich people, they aren't just blindly following the money, right? They have lives as well. They have families. They have
Mm.
circles. And like, well, yes, there might be some capital flight.
Mm.
I think like in a country like the U.S., I don't think we have to worry about scaring off too much wealth as long as they're reasonable, you know?
Yeah.
And like
Mm.
obviously it takes like a little bit of like um kind of like social responsibility almost accept um for people to expect like higher taxation and like a worse off deal for like themselves I guess there's like less income for themselves, but
Yeah.
um like arguably it's something that everyone has to do, and I guess that's like a good transition to the moral argument for or against UBI. Like what are some thoughts you guys have there?
Mm. Moral stuff is always really hard for me to think about
Mm,
because, I mean, if you can make the economy better off, and that's already like this huge boost to everyone.
right.
And like, I mean, if you get innovation in the industry and you get the
Mm-hmm.
jobs and stuff like that, then that is the win. Um, so I think having a moral argument can easily like skew this into an emotional thing, which will muddy the waters and not really allow clear thought. I don't really know if you
Let's
guys
see, like,
see a place where it comes in. Yeah.
I think like the problem with thinking about it solely from like a utilitarian perspective, um,
Mm-hmm.
is that you could kind of use that logic to justify things that I think like most people, yourself included, like wouldn't want. Like there's an
Mm-hmm.
argument to be made for like an authoritarian planned economy in some cases. There's an argument to be made in like a small group seizing power to like kind of reset things. You saw that with
Mm.
Turkey, and Ataturk did a like great job at that. But I think like while that might be the like that might have the best outcome, and at the end of the day, we have to like I think we make decisions more based on our values than anything else. I think most people do
Mm.
anyway, and I think I think nevertheless, I guess long term is nevertheless. I think it's important to consider how I guess the concept of UVI interacts with our existing moral framework and how we might like justify it or I don't know, I guess dismiss it based on that.
Mm.
I guess if your moral framework is utilitarianism, then sure, but I don't think a whole lot of people subscribe to that. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I'm just gonna kick it off by saying this really interesting concept to me of um, like personal responsibility and liberty and the role the government has in like creating welfare. So I'm like definitely not like political scientist, constitutional lawyer, but I think compared to most countries, the U.S. has like a very strong emphasis on personal responsibility and um, that the government that like I suppose the government shouldn't be too much of a crutch, you know, and
Mm.
that people are responsible for fixing their own problems and shouldn't rely on the
Mm.
government to do so. Um, so how does UVI interact with that? Does UVI like does it gel with that framework in some ways? Does it not?
Yeah, I think it, exception isn't really the word, but you realize a case where if we don't do it, then either we have to give up technology or we have to give up
Hmm.
like a part of that personal, not personal freedom, but personal responsibility thing.
Right.
Because I mean, we have a lot of things that the government does, where the government interferes, like building highways and stuff like that. We just need to make sure that we get. And actually, I would point to a different philosophy that we have in the West, which is like, well, it's kind of not really a good way of saying it, but it's the philosophy of money and the philosophy of wealth creation, um, through innovation, of course, and through like having good products and stuff. But we do have a philosophy of money
Mm-hmm.
and consumption and everything that comes with that. So UBI would actually be protecting that philosophy and that possibility for businesses um, to continue running a part of the world. Because if we don't have that, then we might slip into something that's more controlling from the government, where the government isn't giving money to people, but the government is um, buying stuff from businesses and supplying equipment or food themselves, which is a less optimal solution for me. And it's one where companies don't have control, people don't have control, and yeah, and people can't make as much money. Whereas if you have UBI, people can still consume, companies can still charge their prices and be competitive. And if I get UBI, then I may start like a business or something, right? I can, I can, I can waste my money if I want to. Um, but yeah, for the wasting money aspect there, I think it's important to get things like retraining programs in,
Right.
because like yeah, we need to help people to think about the money and stuff, and to really get on that. And then how, yeah, just how to use it properly and creatively, and how they want to use it, sustainably. Um, but I think definitely that this would be a preservation
Right.
of more values than it would be a destructor of values.
Mhm. That's interesting because, like, and I suppose, like,
Hmm.
I know you might be right, but I think an interesting is when people hear, like, yeah, free check every month to everyone, they, like, most people think it's a
Yeah,
bit communist. But, like, I think in a way you're also, like,
yeah.
empowering people and giving them almost more personal liberty and more, like, responsibility to make decisions instead of relying on, like, instead of I suppose it's like completely fine to rely on an employer and stuff, but I think by this, like, individual moral responsibility framework, I think by
Hmm.
that framework people should have the choice to, like, they should have the personality to reject um
Yeah, for sure.
they should have the personal liberty to reject that kind of a, like,
Yeah, you have to consider
a
the
relationship,
alternatives. Like,
and I think UBI
are we
would
not
work
going to have
towards that.
consumption? I don't see an alternative to this. It just seems like there's either going to be
Hmm.
um, more more military spending to control angry people who don't have jobs, who don't have money, and who don't have purpose. So you're going to have to increase that spending and then have a control state where you make sure that everyone gets food, but only as much as you want them to get. And you make sure
Right.
that they get a certain amount of nutrition, and that's just like that whole level of control. You can ensure that, or you can just give them the money and we can continue on
Hmm.
as we have. And I mean, people who don't really want to use it, that's fine. But but yeah, they shouldn't be subject to the government deciding how they consume. And yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah. So just one more thing before.
Hmm.
So one thing that we were talking about, and I was really thinking about it while you guys were talking about
Yeah.
it, was about how rich people would move back. I know this is going back a little bit, but I think, I think I don't see that happening just um, because it is in their
Hmm.
self-interest to have that, right? To be in a country where more people are educated, where more people are consuming the said product that they're producing, right?
So
That's how.
the thing
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
the company moving, yeah.
Right. But I guess the argument to be made there is that like you're diverting money away from by taxing rich people more. You're giving that money and you're giving the like I suppose if you think of everything in terms of like an investment in the economy as a whole, you're giving the power to invest that into the hands of like into the hands of everybody. And I think the question is who would make better use of that who to the end of increasing welfare
So
to like
one
all
thing,
citizens, who would make a
um,
better
in
investment?
terms of
Like rich
economy,
people
right? You
or
mean? Yeah.
a lot of
So
everyday people?
another study that was done was about how $1
Mhm.
given to a middle class person, below the rich class person, contributes about, okay, I don't remember the figure exactly, but
Right.
about $1.2 back to the economy.
Hmm.
Whereas a rich person, if you give him $1,
Right.
he or she makes it consumes for the economy 0.86.
Hmm.
And ha-
That makes sense.
and if I'm a rich person, and not to say that poor people are illiterate or stuff like that, and I see that, then I can see clearly that they will make more money invested than I will,
Hmm.
right?
So yeah, well, I mean, I think just to talk about that study a little bit,
Yeah.
Right.
it's that multiplier effect, right? So if you give this person this money, so that's how governments make decisions. It's like, okay, and that's how you've been talking about it as well. If we put this money here, how much is that going to contribute back to the economy in that multiplier fashion? So um, um, with that, um, yes, it's true that if you give a middle class person the dollar, the multiplier is higher, but it's not because they're better at investing per se or that they're better in using money. It's simply because that they will use the money. So if you give a wealthy person money, they won't use it at all. So they'll save it, right? Because they have the spending money. They know how their finances are structured. That dollar is gonna like sit in their jeans pocket or whatever. Like it's not going to go anywhere. That's why the multiplier is lower in that case. So it's not really about managing money. It's more just about that multiplier and how likely is it to feed back to the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right.
Marius?
That's exciting, isn't it? That like these kind of like studies exist and we're getting some answers to these questions. I think it's really interesting. And I think it's a shame that it's really not like
I
in the
was even
political
trying to
kind of
just before
conversation
the
right now,
podcast, and
sort of thing.
just to explore the opposite side. Um,
Mhm.
I've been trying to think about what if it was just
Right.
pure and good welfare instead of giving them any money whatsoever. How would that? How I could
Right.
not find any issues with that.
Mm.
With just welfare, no giving them money.
Issues with welfare? Well, I think a
Uh,
big problem
there.
with welfare has like been the bloat and the kind of bureaucracy that comes and the like administrative cost that comes with deciding like, okay, like who needs
Yeah,
this money, who gets this money,
right?
yeah.
And it also doesn't
etc. And like
solve the
UBI would
consumption
simplify
issue.
that a lot.
So if you
Um,
give everyone the healthcare that they needed and give everyone some basic food, then Amazon still goes down, right? Um, or whoever is your favorite tech company. They
mhm.
it doesn't help them. Welfare doesn't help them. But if you give cash to people, then these companies will just boom, and it'll be. really crazy because all these people, like, a lot of them will save the money. A lot of them will use it to cover their needs, but most of that is just spending money. 'Cause most people will still have jobs. Most
Right.
people will have some side hustle or some business that they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and this is going to be just extra spending money where I can now buy
Right.
this thing, this upgrade, this game, and it just, now I can afford the Netflix thing every month. It just becomes this huge economic boost.
Yeah. Wow. You guys are honestly like, I'm more convinced of UBI like now
Yeah,
than
I
at the
have
start of the
something
video. It's great.
against UBI, but I forgot what the guy's arguments were. And I remember being convinced by it, but I couldn't find that video again.
I totally feel that, dude. I feel like I'm way too gullible to just like slick arguments, or just like arguments that
Yeah.
just how inherently feel
But
logical. You know?
isn't that fine though if they feel logical? Anyway, that's the whole point. Oh,
Like sometimes they feel logical, but you dig under
like
the
that,
surface,
yeah.
they're not.
Alright,
It's like
fair.
logical set fallacies are, and like misconceptions and stuff. I don't know. I think it's super interesting. I'm taking a like online course on like rhetoric and kind of like manipulating, I don't know, I guess preconceived notions and kind of connections and
Hmm.
how the human
Yeah,
brain
for
works
sure.
to like convince people. Great. Speaking of which, the podcast is sponsored by Brilliant and Skillshare. No, it's not. No one watches these. I don't even watch these. Oh well. Um,
Yeah,
but
I think
yeah,
for this, it's
it's
just we
exciting.
have to
It
consider
really
the
is.
alternative, and if there's no alternative to the consumption problem, then if there's no solution to that, then we have to do this, and we have to make it work because um, if there's no alternative, then there's no alternative. Then because we don't want to go back to a time where people are like bartering and doing their own stuff and like trying to make this craft and then trade it for this other guy who farms. So we also don't want to go back to that kind of system. We want to keep our consumption economy going, and for that we need people to have cash.
He says that while
Mhm.
we actually trade. No, like we're
Oh,
thinking
you guys
of
are
trading,
trading?
right?
Oh, right, Minecraft. That's right. Yeah. Um. But yeah, no, it's super exciting. I think like the next really interesting thing for me, and this is always interesting for me. I don't know why, but just like I think like the three of us kind of come to a consensus probably before the podcast itself that like we want to implement UBI. So now let's do it. Let's get some like execution going. How do we convince politicians that this is good?
Yeah, that's the hard part, right? Like with all the lobbyists and stuff, redirecting. Yeah, I don't know what that world was like, but it seems like hell. But yeah,
Do we wanna do the trade first and
Yes,
then
yeah,
please.
sure.
continue?
Can
Okay. Location is the spawn village. Where is the spawn village? I'm not
you
entirely
supposed to
sure.
be at the spawn village?
Um,
Oh no, you went
me?
for water. Also, I'm willing to
No.
give you half the resources for the desert temple if you'd like, because you saw it as well. I did.
Oh, you didn't loot the desert temple?
Yeah.
You did.
So you're just trading the empty temple.
Okay. I mean, I
No, no, I'll give you everything I
there's
got half. It was
what
just
you get?
some iron, gold, golden apple, but I only got one golden apple, which I'm keeping. And I got
Mm-hmm.
TNT, and I got 2 golden armor plates for horses.
I'll take a golden armor plate
Alright,
for a horse. Finders.
Wait
what?
one sec, I need to pee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Where's my
I
base?
have no idea where
Well,
the
I found my
base
base.
is. Also, I saw a really nice cat. I want it. Yes, but anyway, for trading, I have a bow. Are you interested?
Um, Not particularly. I have some iron to give people.
Do you not want bow?
I do not want a
What is
bow.
with
I can give you
bow
iron though.
and arrows?
Mm-mm. No Kiro.
No, I'll give you. No, I'm giving you 4 iron.
Oh, for free. Oh, for
Yeah.
iron? Nah, I'm fine. I'm fine, thanks. You. I actually think I'm gonna keep my iron on second
What?
thoughts.
I can
And
blow you up and
yeah.
get it. I also have TNT.
Oh, you have
Yeah.
TNT? Oh, big man. It's too bad I didn't build any structure. So if you blow up my base, you'll just make a bigger hole.
Okay, not gonna lie. Okay, I found the spawn village.
Okay, where is it?
Okay, so the problem is.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, never mind. There's no problem. So
Okay.
X is 19 and Z is negative 1.6. We're actually really close to 0, 0, 0.
X is 19 and Z is
Minus 1.7. Basically minus 1. You can come around there.
Okay, I have one piece of glass for you guys. How about that?
wow, thrilling.
Holy crap.
Ritik
Guys,
lives.
stay away.
Ritik literally lives in a sea of sand. You and want glass.
I know my customers, man.
I,
Riddick likes
I
that bling.
I can
He's
give
gonna
you
want it.
guys iron if you get some. No, I need my iron. Sorry, never mind. I'm honestly like not ready for the trade. I'm still getting geared up. The supply chain is still wearing up. You know.
Sure.
Anyways,
Um,
just
does
meet up.
anyone have carrots?
No,
Yeah, I
I would
have.
like
Okay.
carrots though.
We can take the carrots here as long as you plant it back.
Are there carrots there?
There are no carrots in the village.
Oh, plot twist, of
According
course.
to a villager that told me. I don't know.
Plot
Oh,
twist.
oh,
He
oh,
said,
oh, of course.
yeah.
I think I might resettle in this village. Honestly. This village looks nice.
Which village? Don't steal
Not
my.
another village.
Not your village, yeah.
Oh, okay. I-
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys coming? So the coordinates,
No.
yo,
I'm gonna
are.
skip trading. I have nothing to trade, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're not coming. Okay, I'm going back then. Well, I came here for no point.
Haha, it was a trick.
Just
He
to,
made you travel.
just to
Now we know
stop
where you
me.
are.
Yeah, just to stop my growth. I get it.
Yeah.
I
Definitely,
get it.
definitely what this was.
I get it. I'm already feeling the power.
hmm All right. So do we want to continue on UVI?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well.
So, actually, this ties back to Jordan Peterson. When I was watching some things in preparation for the last podcast,
Uh-huh.
where he had his concerns about UBI, and it's the same thing that I talked about. Like, if you just if you give some people money, that's like the worst thing that can happen to them. This is what Jordan Peterson says, and I mean, of course, he's not a poor person. He has some money, although not like super a lot. Um, but yeah, he said that if you give someone who's an alcoholic or they're not really stable in their lives
hmm
and they just don't have direction, and there's plenty of people like that. If you give them money, they're gonna lose it really quickly,
Right.
and they may get into bad business dealings. They may get into bad habits. There's just enough that could go wrong if you give people just money. And yeah, for him, he just says that like money isn't the problem. Like that's not why people want UBI. They want survival and they want purpose. So money seems like a solution if you don't have it, but actually, if you look deeper, um, there are those other issues. Um, and yeah, it just comes back to that personal responsibility thing again that Jordan Peterson really believes hard in.
hmm
That you need that purpose, um, that purpose in your life. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, if you just had a bunch of money, what do you guys think you would do with it? Not like on a UBI level,
hmm
like just $1,000 a month, but what if you have like sustainable living plus like I don't know, $5,000 per month?
You can go ahead first, Rahul.
Okay. I'd first spend like probably the first 2-3 months of UBI buying all the EU4 DLC. That should cover it. But no, jokes aside, I think I'd probably like I'd invest it. Like I don't really need spending money at the moment. I'd invest it. Suppose stocks for now. I mean, stock market. I think it did bounce back today, but pretty low in
Right.
general.
So yeah, if you look at that advantage again, like if most people don't need all of that spending money and people are educated on how to invest, then all the companies that are publicly traded now have this huge influx of cash from people who are controlling it and like holding them responsible. So it won't be
Right.
something where you just get free cash from the government and now you're a business, spend it however you want. And it's not going to go into the pockets of the investors and the shareholders. Like the people will really be the shareholders. I think that's a immensely positive thing.
So just another thing. So when Jordan Peterson spoke about the people who use alcohol and stuff, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember if they were like the poorer people, or was it? Because I read the opposite. I read that, well, in terms of poor people, I read that rich people are actually the ones that will consume way more alcohol and stuff, while compared to the people who live below the poverty line right now.
You mean
And
if they get UBI
if
or
they get
in
UBI.
general?
What? Oh, in general, sorry.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, of course they drink more because they have more money. Is it by volume of alcohol or by
Yeah.
money spent on alcohol?
That is a good question that I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Because yeah, that's another
Yeah,
thing where it's like
that is actually a big thing. Like,
there's
yeah.
cheap alcohol and there's expensive alcohol, and I
Mhm.
mean, I can imagine that wealthy people drink more
I
because they
think it
can afford
was,
it. We hear about poor people who die drunk on the street and stuff like that, but that's because again other social reasons, and when they get drunk they want to get really
yeah.
drunk maybe.
I also think it's a little bit of a stereotype that poor people actually do this
Hmm.
while it need not be true.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't know the numbers.
Yeah. And well, this is also me thinking, right? And and yeah, versus compared to like rich people and stuff like that, especially from BoJack Horseman. I don't know. I've had a really negative image of rich people, and I think I think I think a part of it, even if like we assume 10% of the part is true, that's still pretty bad. And anyway, but yeah, basically, the reason why I was telling this is just because, um, did you say something?
No.
Alright,
No.
okay, my bad. Um, yeah, so the reason why I think I was saying this is just because of going back to, wait, I actually forgot why I said this. One second. But yeah, okay, you guys can continue that. So that's what I was asking, that if Jordan Peterson said anything about what type of class.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's also obviously dealing with people who can afford therapy, and
That is
maybe they don't have their lives together, so they don't have a lot of money, but they're also not like homeless kind of poor.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I actually don't know like who who UBI targets more. Is it like homeless level people, or is it just normal consumers who need some more cash, or is it people who are um, losing their jobs right now, and this covers that basic job money? Like, who's the target of UBI?
Well, isn't it everyone?
Right,
Isn't
right,
it
right.
like
So everyone
everyone
will
gets?
receive it, but
Yeah.
who's it supposed to benefit? Because it's not going
Oh,
to benefit the wealthy people. It's not for them.
yeah. But I think that really depends. on the amount, and I don't know if Rohan you had it planned to discuss the amount as well, like amount of UBI that should be given. But
Want to? We can go wherever we want to.
yeah, that is true. But yeah, so I think that's really important as well. So the video I watched, which is Kurzgesagt, they focused on they focused on getting people out of poverty line. And I think that is key.
Hmm.
I think that imagine having a poverty line that is well above like that is so that everyone can afford it. Everyone can
Yeah,
afford living comfortably and not have to, um, you know,
sacrifice education, healthcare,
yeah,
things like this. Yeah. You know what else I thought about with the UBI thing is if other countries implement it, like imagine how American businesses will grow if like India introduces a UBI. Like we have this huge middle class that's growing, but then you accelerate that like again, and Amazon is growing. It already knows that it has an opportunity here, but now you add just all this new, fresh money that people are able to spend, and they're
Mhm.
technologically literate, and all these things come in. And I think, yeah, for America to encourage UBI around the world, it would be this huge booster because everyone wants to um, purchase from American companies and things like that. So I think America, even if they don't implement it domestically, they should encourage it abroad.
Uh-huh.
yeah, for sure. Especially in like the developing countries as well, because that'll just boost their middle class, and once their middle class boosts, I don't know, like Google,
Yeah,
Apple, all their revenues. Well, not Apple, but Google, all their stuff's revenues will, I don't know, like threefold, double
yeah,
at least, easily double.
But I guess at the same
yeah.
time, like by like I don't know. I feel that like to fund UBI, you need to increase taxes, which might like well, I guess like these huge companies don't really matter, but it might like um dry up the pool of like venture capital money or just like investors in general.
Wait,
You
could you explain that mechanism?
like by taxing the rich, there'd be like since the rich make up the majority of capital
Hmm.
for like investment for growing or starting businesses, like that
Hmm.
pool might dry up.
Right. Yeah, yeah. That's definitely true because the now money won't just be um, concentrated on one guy that controls it, but it will be split apart. And if it's split apart, then it can't be used as investment money.
Right.
That's interesting.
And like
So less new businesses will start.
yeah, and also and because it'll be such a shut-in like since it'll be such a sh- sudden shock to like just the consumer economy, established powers might, and I'm completely making this up as I go, but they might be able to like monopolize over that spike in demand too much and kind of like corner off their market and become so powerful both in government and in their sector that it's a virtual monopoly or oligopoly. I suppose people already do that, but like, what if it's worse? What if it's like a super monopoly?
Right. Yeah, and people are already like
Hmm.
really concerned about the power of these businesses. So yeah, that's definitely warranted. A lot of things like just work in the favor of these companies.
Hmm.
That's definitely something to consider. And that's also why it's super important to start companies as soon as possible
Right.
for anyone, because like VC money is gonna start drying up. Like we're in this huge boom time where it's just like a free for all in terms of you can do anything you want. Or maybe that's just how it feels like it to me. Like I can imagine it being like way worse where no money, there's a kind of depression, um, and people are struggling. Ah, I died.
People are struggling. Definitely not talking about myself in Minecraft.
I was struggling. One second. Um, but yeah, it's just a really good time. And so I was thinking about this even with coding, right? So I've had this dilemma for the last, like, I don't know how many years, like 5 years. Do I learn how to code or do I just skip that? Because if you look at who does coding, it's entry-level engineers, right?
Mm.
Of course, coding was this huge thing back in the 80s and 90s, and the people who coded then were like these gods that now rule the world.
Right.
You look at Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, any one of these people. And but now, like even a managerial position at a software company, you don't do any coding. Like you're not that guy. So thinking about should I spend my money learning to code or should not money, my time, or should I spend my time learning other things that will be a lot more useful? Because coders, it's not going to be replaced as quickly by automation, but it'll definitely be replaced by the other people coming up who are now the first people in the developed world to afford college, and obviously they learn the skill that is the most employable, which is coding in our case. And so you get all these coding houses in India, but I'm not going to be a coding house worker in India. Like, that's just not going to be my thing. So should I be learning how to code? And I don't know. I found the answer to be no, and that I it's better to start something where I own the factors of production,
Mm-hmm.
and then work on strategy, creative thinking, and all that. But yeah,
Right.
it seems like this time where you're either with AI and stuff like that. And I mean, this is the issue that Karl Marx had like 100 years ago. It's that you're either gonna own the capital or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be this clear difference where you're not going to be there's just going to be this huge difference between people who own capital and who don't. And the person who owns the AI owns a free workforce of how many thousands of people. So you really want to get in there
Mm-hmm.
before the going gets really tough.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys have been like, do you want to? Do we want to make it a whole separate thing? I think like Ritik mentioned to me that he wanted to like talk about stocks or something like that. Maybe we can have someone on for that one, like next week since Gotham won't be there. But getting off topic, focus on
Well,
the current
Yeah, sure.
podcast, Rohan. Um, yeah, for sure. But like, I'm not entirely sure, but I think I read that Marx actually had his problems with the concept of UBI.
Hmm. No, I had no idea. I actually don't know much
Because
about
like
Marx.
because I think the fundamental relationship between the like laborer and I suppose like the forces that own the factors of production, like that still exists, and it's just kind of um, it's just almost like a like a method of pacifying the like pacifying the people who are ailing under the system, not necessarily like fixing the system for the better. But I don't know. I really don't know enough about this to meaningfully
Mm.
comment. He also said something about like because there's no like because there's less of a base like necessity to pay a living wage might go down because like employers might be like, okay, like there's an extra $1,000 in their income, so we can just like
Mm.
cut, you know.
Right.
wouldn't the unions have problem with that?
I mean, in the U.S., there's a lot of like a lot of workers aren't unionized, a lot.
I think that one thing is really important. Okay, but again, off topic.
Uh-huh. Oh no, you can
Mm.
go. Let's
No,
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Labor unions. I want to hear about it, Ritik. Tell me about it.
so we have it like here, there's a lot, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't think every company has it, of course not, but I think it's really important here, and I think it's great because because all these corporations are, especially Amazon's. If you Amazon's, oh yeah, I was right. Amazon's warehouses. If you don't have any power there, you're pretty much being ill-treated so much, right?
Right. Yeah.
And um and wait, sorry, just 1 second. Yeah, and because of that, you get a voice in this day. Like from last week tonight, we know how bad Amazon was, and it really it's scary sometimes. Like here, it's kind of easy for not kind of easy. Okay, it's still pretty hard, but it's still good for people who work there because they're not being treated such harshly. And if they have that, they produce better, they work more efficiently, they get better output. In my, I think. So yeah, I think that's why it's really important.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me of like considering a more holistic view to maximizing efficiency because I feel like in the US there's very little emphasis placed on kind of like well-being and like time to relax and time to like spend time with family and like kind of maintain your physical, mental and emotional health as well. And they kind of just like assume that like it's not worth giving those hours to those activities. Like I I guess like companies kind of assume that it's more worth to make people work more hours and like under harsher conditions than give them those kind of benefits, I suppose. And I think people are starting to question that in the US, and people have questioned it and kind of gone over it in Europe, Australia,
Canada.
and Canada. But
So
I think
is it because American companies just cover that with like a subsidy on the on the income? Not a subsidy, but like they just they give higher salaries.
but like even if you have if you have like a couple thousand more dollars per month, like what are you gonna do that? What are you gonna do with that if you have to work like so many more hours in such a like with no vacation and like no time to
Right,
spend with your family? Like what are you gonna do with that money? When it
right.
doesn't it make sense that like that I don't know that giving just a little bit of leniency would like result in better efficiency. But that's just me, folks. I'm not
How
an
does
employer.
how does that build to like American values again? Coming back to that in philosophies, like that having a chill work environment or having a not chill exactly, but more lenient and forgiving and all that. I mean that's how I
Well,
imagine Google
see,
to
like
be like.
I don't think that has anything to do with American values. I think that just has that. I think that's just to do with like the political system being corrupted by employers, I suppose, and big companies. Because back in like the New Deal days, I don't think there was. Now I could be wrong here, but I don't think there was a huge like people had a huge problem, and there was a culture, almost like a culture against unions, and a kind of negative view of them, like we have today. Um, but in general, the like economic policy was a lot more liberal in terms of like how we define liberal and conservative these days. Not classically liberal, but it definitely was in terms of like government intervention and federal government spending and federal government powers and stuff like that. Um, and like just the success of the New Deal kind of tells me that that that's the direction we should be going in. But apparently, like the 10,000 people in Florida who decide every election don't agree with me. So whatever.
That's
Anyway,
funny.
mhm, we really do live in a broken system. It's funny.
Yeah, this is actually like this is something that Jordan Peterson really hits home hard about.
Mm-hmm.
It's that like it's not a perfect system,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of people call for a complete breaking of the system because it's imperfect,
Right.
um, which he which he sees as like kind of dangerous and not really clear thinking, because he says that because I mean he kind of has a tainted, not really tainted, but maybe like a uh, hmm, it's a cynical view, I guess, because he studies the Soviet Union and everything that happened there so much, and it's all the stuff that you used to tell me when I used to have my communist rants back in high school. It's that
Yeah.
like so much shit happened in that time, so many people suffered, and it was worse than extreme poverty is now in the developed world, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very bad for everyone. And right now we have so much technology, we have so much connection to people, and we really live in this miracle time,
Mm-hmm.
which many people may not have thought was even possible. But we think this, but because of small issues, not really small issues, they're definitely significant,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not worth breaking the machine about. Um, and so because of small issues of inequality, and I mean, obviously there's like lots of issues, but because of those issues, we're completely disregarding the machine, and that's what they tried to do in the Soviet Union. But then when you build it back up, um, you realize you don't have all the things that you thought you would have, that you maybe took for granted, and that you're now in this place where you promised people something, and now they're complaining, and now you shut them up, and then millions of people die. Maybe that's not exactly how it happened, or maybe that's not exactly how it'll happen again, but that definitely seems like what would happen if you just break the system that feeds you.
Uh-huh. Do you want to talk about Jordan Peterson now? You want to like roll the two ideas into one?
I don't have that much on him. There are some
Yeah.
things.
I think like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't say this on stream. Okay, I won't. I won't reveal my plan.
Okay.
I'll talk about it off stream.
Okay.
Um, I guess that's suspicious already.
Yeah.
Shit, I've dug my own grave. Anyway, Jordan Peterson, who? I don't know who that is. We're not going to talk about him in a few weeks. Definitely not. Anyway, um,
Definitely not going to circle back as soon as you finish the book.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Did you finish it?
There's just one too many rules. I'm sorry. Anyway,
Okay, this does not work.
what does not work?
I hate this game.
What UBI? Wow,
No.
change your mind.
Yeah, bro, I changed it. All I want is obsidian, and the government is not giving me obsidian,
Uh-huh.
so it's bad.
It is bad.
There we go.
I agree.
UBI debate. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Easy one. So how's everybody's day? Like, I'm gonna like take this whatever's left. I think you have to go soon, don't you?
Yeah, I have like another hour actually. At some
Oh,
point.
okay. Nice.
Yeah, yeah, it got delayed by half an hour, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, should there be qualifications for UBI? Sorry, I'm I was just reading through my notes now that I prepared for this, and I remembered that I wanted to bring this up. Like, should there be qualifications
Oh,
for UBI,
He has
or
notes, fancy.
but then it won't be universal basic income.
Like, do we want it to be universal?
true?
Yeah.
And like,
If not,
if
then
we're
bureaucracy.
targeting people, if we're like targeting certain sectors of the economy, I suppose, why wouldn't you just like cut taxes instead of cut taxes on them to give them more spending money instead of giving them money?
Yeah. Why is it universal basic income? Because I know with this, it's like wealthy people also get this amount of money, but they're obviously, I mean, if you look at just from a direct trade perspective, they're probably paying higher taxes to get that $1,000 back. Why is it universal, and why is it not? Oh my God! I knew
Basic
I'd
income.
find more diamonds here.
You
And
have.
speaking about the wealthy, I'm rolling in diamonds, baby. No,
Ooh.
but um, why are we giving money to wealthy people? Why not just have it as a less severe policy and have it more directed? Is it because it's harder to implement? Is that the issue?
Also, I think there's an aspect of like morally everyone should be able to live a like decent life and no one should be in destitute poverty and we can afford that as like a developed country. I suppose that's a lot of I think a lot of the reason why it's universal is that.
Right.
Now,
But
do we
yeah,
want that? Or are we just advocating for like a middle class tax cut here? Which is much more in the Democratic Party's political spectrum at this point.
but yeah, what I still don't understand is like we obviously, like all developed countries need to, like Bernie Sanders says, like they need to feel like developed countries or whatever. Like people shouldn't be worrying about healthcare. People shouldn't be worrying about food and education and things like this. And I definitely agree with him that it seems archaic that we're still worrying about those issues in developed countries. I mean, if you've ever been to a Scandinavian country and spoken to people there, and they have no idea what these issues are, like paying for college, how does that make you poor? Because it's free. And I mean, obviously, this is an oversimplistic thing, but I think it is important for people like Bernie Sanders, and I mean, he obviously knows this, to convey this message that, like, on an emotional level, we feel so far behind as a developed country. So
Right.
there's that. But I still don't understand, like, if if the purpose is we're a developed country, we need everyone to be super well off, let's say. And I mean, I think $1,000 a month maybe won't make everyone super well off, but like if you have that plus some passive income, that's like pretty damn good. Um, if the purpose is to make people well off, then we don't need to make wealthy people more well off. And this program is going to cost money, and it's going to cost wealthy people money. So why are we focusing on this whole second part of people who don't need the money and who absolutely won't spend it? And is it just a simplicity thing? Is it just is it just for the ideal? I don't understand why it's so oversimplified and solving problems that don't exist.
I honestly wouldn't know. I feel like maybe there's an aspect um of like poor people being more able to lift themselves out of poverty. I think like that's definitely a benefit of giving people who may not contribute that much to like the consumer economy, giving them money. That's an argument for that. And like if they lift themselves out of poverty, they can eventually contribute.
Yeah,
But
no, for sure. Like poor
I,
people definitely
yeah,
need UBI.
and I think like Andrew Yang's UBI, the freedom dividend. Not that I like the guy, but I don't think he planned to give it to the rich, like above 100K a year or something like that.
Okay, was that the cutoff?
I think so.
Okay, that's
But like
interesting.
per
Okay, and
house.
that makes sense to me because
Hmm.
that just removes, because I mean obviously you're gonna have that administrative load as you were talking about, and if
Right.
you only need to help half the people, then
Hmm.
maybe you only need 40% of the money for this deal
Right.
instead of 50%. I mean, if you're just feeding half,
Hmm.
so you maybe spend saving all that load.
Here's an interesting question. Do we want to give it to non-citizens, to residents,
Interesting.
both
I
legal
think
and illegal?
I think if you pay tax there, then you should give it.
So if you pay tax,
Does everyone pay tax in America? Like, or is it like India where if you're below a certain amount, you don't have to pay tax?
no, I think if you don't like have significant income, I don't think you have to file. Like I don't file, even though I'm over 18.
Right.
And I do
Um,
here. And
hey.
yeah, well, because I did a job, right? So if I do any job, even if it's a minimum wage income, then I have to file taxes, and I get tax return actually. So I get
Ooh.
money back. And
So that works.
Canada, as per Canada's concerns, I'm a resident when it comes to tax. But
Okay,
not
and
when it comes to giving me free money for being stuck in COVID.
Oh, 14 levels gone. That's sad.
the
Wow. I had a plan and everything. I just went out to get food. That gives me an idea then. Do you guys
yeah,
want
so
to do trading today?
I am
I
down.
have I have diamonds. So if you guys wanna get the loop ready, okay.
Um,
Uh-huh.
Maybe you guys have diamonds.
I mean, I do.
Hey,
Yeah, already here. Bro.
I don't have diamonds. I haven't been mining very much.
What have you been doing?
It's kind of relaxing.
he has UBI.
Talking about UBI, Chief, yeah.
See, this is the problem. Boom, there we go.
I am the problem with UBI.
Proof.
We solved it.
Two
Too
out of
late.
three. There we go. Done. Have to.
Ritik, I will trade you 4 diamonds for 5 diamonds.
Oh, you're giving me 5?
Uh,
Thanks, man. Nah, I'm good, bro.
Where's my base gone?
Wait,
Mhm.
I'm still stuck on the thing of should residents get UBI, and for that you go to the fundamentals of why we want this, and if we look at it as a means to boost the economy, then yeah, we definitely want residents to have it. Like it seems to me that it is in the economic interest. Yeah, no, sorry, residents, non-citizens. It seems to
Oh,
me like it's in business and government interest for as many people as possible to have UBI. And if if that's the case, then we shouldn't be splitting hairs about who was
Uh-huh.
born here, who deserves it. It's that there's again that moral thing and identity stuff come into there. Like he's not an American, he shouldn't get UBI. Like
Right.
no, the reason we give UBI is to build a base of consumption on which we can build our economy and like really explode our economy. So if that's the case, then everyone should be getting it.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, at the same time, like, I wonder how many of those people would like send money back home, you know?
yeah.
Because that's a big thing in India. A lot, like, Indian tax money comes from, like, somehow, like, money linked to abroad.
That's funny. Yeah, that will be a thing that they maybe if they
As long
promise.
as you pay tax on it, you're fine. I
No,
think.
but that's silly, right? To give
Why would,
someone
like,
money
yeah.
just so
Well,
that they give some of it back.
well, some of it back depends on your income, right? So, like filing taxes, it depends on how much you earn. So, like I said, right, I didn't lose any money when I filed my taxes, and I'm sure that's because I'm well not really making that much money, right? So if you aren't making that much money, then if you aren't making that much money, then the UBI will help you lift yourself up, right? It'll give you like a floor to jump off of or whatever. But if you are earning a lot, like um, like well not a lot but like decently enough so that your life needs are met, and then generally in Canada you would be you'd have to pay taxes so you wouldn't get a refund and you'd lose money or something like that. Yeah, you'd lose money. And um and yeah, And same thing will happen even with UBI. So that will just be another point of government making money. Does that make
So
sense?
will people have to declare UBI as income? I feel like
Yeah.
that's just for why though.
Well, they don't have to. It'll be considered automatically.
Yeah, I guess.
Everyone will be getting it.
So yeah, I
But
think
then,
the
isn't
issue
Wait,
that
with
just
one second. Let me explain it with an example. So
uh,
me, a student earning, I don't know, like $14 per hour, and getting a UBI of $1,000 per month won't won't have to worry about paying taxes, and I'll get refund on taxes as well because I'm a student, and in future I'll pay for taxes. I'll pay that money back, right? Um, but let's say you earning in Canada, one of the CEOs of like Shopify, let's say, then you do have to pay taxes, and you have the UBI, but you will be charged. You won't get a refund on or anything, and instead you'll have to when you after filing your taxes. I don't know. Let's say you'll have to pay 5K more. Does that make sense?
right, but what's the difference between giving someone money, then taxing them on it, and then versus just not giving them that much? Like
Well,
if
it keeps the universality, if that's a word, alive. Universality, like it makes UBI UBI. It won't make it basic income for special people.
that's just welfare, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just not fair.
great
But
stuff. Yeah. Hey, 1 second, I'll be right back.
does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay, because you guys get too quiet.
It does make sense. So like, why is I guess coming back to your question, like,
Yeah,
why is welfare bad then?
because of bureaucracy.
Okay.
Right.
Right. But like, it's also just like not working, you know? I feel like a lot of poor people get welfare, but that's not helping them lift themselves out of poverty. Is it not enough?
No, it's not right, I think.
Huh?
How is it not right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not targeting them to be better. It's it's not teaching them how to fish, but it's giving them fish.
Gotcha. But like, how
Well,
will
that's a
UBI?
great
How will
example.
UBI be different?
Because well, because it's not even because with UBI you're giving them the tools to fish, and are like, yo,
How?
figure
How?
out how to fish.
How is it different?
Money. Whereas in welfare, they're not giving money, but they're giving everything else, right?
No, they
And
are giving money.
are they?
Yeah.
But it's not like okay. Then it really depends on how we define welfare.
Well, like welfare is like, you know,
Like,
like social security. Actually, I'm not sure how it works. Do poor
yeah,
people get money in the U.S.?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
Like
think.
unemployment benefits, you do get unemployment benefits.
Yeah, unemployment benefits are a bit different, though, right?
Yeah.
I think because it's not a poor person is not unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
He's okay. No offense, but he can't be employed, right?
Right.
Because I mean, if you're a company, why would you want that? To assuming poor people are like um are not educated and stuff like that, right?
Right.
As a company, why would you want to hire them?
Hmm.
Does
Yeah,
that
it
make
does.
sense?
Does make sense.
I don't
But
know.
like, I don't
So
know.
it's just yeah. What are you thinking? You can tell me. And then
I just feel like if we're already giving money to poor people, if we, I don't know if we are, but if we are, or like we're at least giving them a tax break, right? So like technically they have more spending money. Like why isn't that? why will UBI be different?
Oh, because
Is it just because like we'll be giving money to a lot more people because we won't have to pay for administration
it
and bureaucracy?
it's continuously you giving them money, and I think I think we can assume just by probability they'll figure out what's best, right?
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense? I don't know if
That
that's
does.
what happened, and we can discuss that because I really don't know if it'll happen, but by basic probability, it should happen. That is,
What should happen?
just giving them money, giving poor people money for a long time, they'll eventually figure out what to do with it instead of wasting.
Mm,
Yeah.
Just like
No, but you need education programs, retraining programs. You need to
mm,
educate people. Because, dude, most
yeah,
people don't know about the stock market. They think that if they go to a loan shark, okay, I have $1,000, that means I can pay off this expensive loan to this illegal loan guy. That makes sense because that's the only loans I know about, you know?
mhm.
that is true. But yeah, that is true.
You need the education to be there.
So you do need welfare.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, I
before.
mean, welfare is like a huge like umbrella term, right?
Yeah, that's what me and Rohan were discussing as well. Like, so is
Are we
welfare
already? I guess my question is, are we already giving like a
UBI
basic income to like some
people?
people, and is that working?
Hmm.
Wait one second, Ewan, can you sleep?
I don't have wool.
Can't you? Do you have a village?
I'm near a village,
Can you just steal one of their bread?
but but it's danger. It's
It's
high
I guess.
voltage.
I guess like I know it's not ideal like circumstances, but the U.S. kind of did a little bit of like a basic income, like in the form of the stimulus checks, sent $1,200 to people every month,
during the
below
corona.
below a certain yeah during COVID,
Yeah,
below a certain income. Yeah.
yeah. Even here, Canada gave a thousand to $2,500 to students.
Like if
Wow.
the government
Internal.
is willing to do this now, and if they see the like kind of like potential this kind of thing has to really give juice to the economy, why aren't they willing to do it on a larger scale?
Yeah, man. I think
Almost
there's just so many stigmas, communist trauma. Like
for
there's
sure.
some bad juju going on, and I think like even with lobbyists and stuff, like I think there's a lot of efficiency that can be achieved that just isn't being achieved, and
Right.
that's all right. I guess that's the game we play. The government has the monopoly on being the government, so like we don't really have a choice in that sense.
It's like I was saying in high school, there should be two competing governments. It's two Stukas. I've always said this.
I remember this because we were so ineffective. Uh, that's perfect.
Are we going to what am I saying? Are we going to sleep or should I leave the bed?
Now leave the bed.
Okay.
Jeez, buy me dinner first, Rohan. God damn, jumping right into it.
Uh,
Um,
hey, I got $1,000 to blow on this dinner, baby. Like you're gonna like it.
Not gonna lie, I'm bored.
Of what? Of UBI or
yeah,
of Mike?
I'm, I'm not finding diamonds. Should we fight?
I
Um,
I am okay. As you said that, I found diamonds. Thank you, Ewan.
I have
Dude,
nothing to
I need that.
trying to get some
Ooh,
sort
Need
of.
that.
I found a lot of diamonds.
Dude, ridiculous.
See,
Where are
this is
you?
the
I'm gonna
problem.
kill you and
The
take your
problem
diamonds.
with like trying to do a trading game in Minecraft. Like, I think mining is, in terms of return on investment,
Yeah,
of time, mining is just superior to everything else.
Just to let you know, that was
Mhm.
7 diamonds.
See, like that's the thing.
Wow.
I've been like doing other things and I have 0.
Yep. This
You've
is
been like thinking and stuff,
Yeah.
meditating.
Uh-huh.
this is what you tell. Yeah.
I honestly
I'm
like
bored because I already have like a nether portal built.
Yeah,
Now I don't know what to
yeah. I think Ritik wins because how much XP do you have?
have 14, level 14.
Okay, I'm level 10. So I think Ritik's winning.
Is that a competition?
I think I could
I
take Rhythic.
figured.
I mean, I don't really have a have a diamond suit or something. So
Exactly.
Wow.
I have
God
an
damn.
iron suit, but yeah, I don't know.
Should we try? Should we try to build something together?
Um,
We're
sure.
joining forces because I'm poor.
Well, I'm level 7, Yuan. I don't know why you assumed I was up there. I used to be 13, but then I died in a horrible way.
Hmm.
I'm not
Shot
that
by
good.
skeleton.
The only thing I've done this game is mine.
See, that explains it. Rithik's like the coked up like stockbroker of Minecraft.
Gotta
Literally,
trade.
only thing I've done is mine. I don't know how I've not died, but I have not died. I'm on one food. I have no
I
food.
died once. I died once, and I had a skeleton in my home, and it almost killed me, but I killed it. So
Oh, nice.
that worked out well for me.
Yeah. I almost died by a phantom. So I went upstairs, just open roof, just chilling.
Hmm.
And then this random flying creature just comes in and hits me. And I'm just like,
It happens when you
Wait,
don't sleep.
yeah,
Like fandoms get worse as you don't sleep.
seriously.
really?
Yeah.
Wait, I can try. I'll go to the village with my
Yeah,
diamond pickaxe. Oh my god, that was a mistake. Wait, no, I'm gonna put my diamond pickaxe back. Shit.
fight him. I need that diamond pickaxe. Oh wait, I already have it.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm definitely bored. We need a better game.
Yeah,
Please.
I'm sure there are games that you can play in Minecraft.
Yeah. We
We
like
should, we should play
Rohan and Teja tried one island thing, which is
Survivor
kind of
Island.
cursed. Yeah, it's just kind of cursed. Not
It
gonna
was
lie.
good. It's good for like the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, so cursed. We've been playing Minecraft for 1 hour 30 minutes.
Yikes, dude. I accomplished nothing. Holy shit.
We've accomplished so much that I can help you guys out as well. You,
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna die.
I'm pretty sure.
Critics the government.
Yeah, I'm
Please,
pretty
yeah.
sure I can fund all of you getting this thing,
What?
iron suits.
Oh, I have an iron suit. Come on.
Okay, never
Come
mind.
on. Give me that much credit.
Yeah,
I
I
got
can
iron really easily. I just stopped mining after I got iron. Which is
um,
a part of my strategy, I suppose.
fair.
And like
I just
I just
walked through
imagine my
it.
strategy taking less time,
Boom. You can walk through doors. Are you guys seeing this?
Okay, I'm in bed.
Alright.
It's morning, Ewan.
It took me a while to get here.
You really did go far out, huh?
Okay, I gotta kill people. Need food.
And this is where I come in. I was flying to be like the food broker for this game, but it just took me too long to get a farm up and running.
Yeah, I would have.
I should have just killed a bunch of animals.
Yeah, that's all you had to do.
I know. But like I thought like like make a like highly efficient system. Blah, blah, blah. Never ended up
Yeah.
happening.
See? Make a highly efficient system. You can just by killing animals. Just have a farm.
Maybe if it had like a basic income of 1 diamond every 2 days, like Maybe if
I
I
know
had that
some-
guaranteed, I would be able to more confidently pursue my dream of becoming this,
I don't think
like
so.
having a monopoly on food.
No, bro. I highly doubt.
You know
do you think any of the villagers will have carrots?
Probably. They're the villagers. Okay, I think one of the villagers is stealing from me.
I see an
Yeah.
Enderman.
Kill it.
No.
I
Well,
hear you.
I-
Like I hear you pressing the like justify war goal button.
On you guys.
Hmm.
Yeah, easy win. Okay, we got food, boys. Okay. Shall we meet up?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I'll fight you guys.
Oh, are we fighting each other? Because I'm gonna
You think,
bring
you
this
think we'll
back.
have... Hey,
Oh,
hey,
I-
Rohan.
Are we fighting
We
each
should
other?
kill the man.
We
should
should
kill
kill
the
him.
man.
Let's bring him down.
No, I'm not coming.
You know.
Why did you
I know
come?
where he is. He's in the desert somewhere. Let's find him.
Alright, come at me.
Oh.
Okay, this would actually be fun. I'm down. Have some arrows.
All right. Yeah. I'll
Hey,
just
hey, are we
I'll
gonna
just-
go? Because
I'll just
I can get
wrap
my
up.
stuff.
A little bit. Yeah, I can get my stuff too. I'll meet you
Okay.
at the village.
Yeah. In like 5 minutes.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, I actually might die on my way back home. Oh
There we
God.
You would know.
You win?
You would know.
It's so funny because I knew it was gonna happen, and it still happened. I lagged, okay? I lagged.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
bro.
It was totally
Can I see the
understandable.
achievement?
Which one?
My
Oh God.
achievement.
What was it?
It was just cover me with diamonds.
Oh shit, I lost
left the game. Okay, that was fun. I thought you left the game after seeing this.
All right, where are you, Attack? I'm coming to kill
I
you.
can't get back in.
Why not? Oh, do I have to leave and come back?
You.
Come on, Minecraft. You know we do the hacks. Just let us do it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Alright, anyways, I actually think I do need to go. Rohan, are you gonna kick his ass?
Yeah, let's do it. You just need to find him first.
Oh, do you need me to
I've-
tell
I've-
you my coordinates?
I found. Ritik has all the power.
Just come to me. I have an idea.
Come to me, I'll kick your ass. Oh God, Ritik has too much power. He won this game.
Nah, dude, we can get him. We can easily get him. I'm confident.
Alright, bro. Come,
He's gonna sit there with his like one diamond sword and act like a boss.
come at me.
Where are you, Ewan?
I've left.
Oh, you're gone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just you and me, bro.
Alright, Ritik, come find me then.
No, I'm good.
I mean, I've been doing it, but it's just been painless.
Remember, you want to overthrow me, not me.
I do want to overthrow you.
Yeah.
I can go back to mine.
I think, I don't think I'm gonna be any seconds for the.
Okay, bro, I get it. You won.
Still gonna do a lot of money,
Nothing?
but anyways, I think another thing is still.
Or was that a pun on my name?
No, that was the villager. He's just staring at me, and I'm not comfortable. And he's not even a trading one. Oh, you scam.
Good boy.
You
What up?
scam. You cannot.
What's happening? Someone commentate this.
I
I'm
teleported
tuning in
to
from the
Ritik.
radio.
Tactical move.
Ooh.
God! Oop. Oh, he's eating, is he? I see you there.
Ah, there we go. Boom. Easy win.
Sorry, I was just getting my.
I didn't know what the terrain looked like. This isn't fair.
See, this is why I called you.
Shut up, shut up. It's not fair. It's not.
Yeah.
Easy.
I give up.
Alright, 2-0.
Was it even close to killing you the first
Yeah,
time?
you were no, this time you were.
This time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I had minded my surroundings, I would have killed you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you
Because
just
I had a lot of food on me.
jumped out.
Mm,
But yeah, easy
Shut
win. You had to
Shut
use
up.
cheats
shut
and
up. I didn't have
still
to.
you couldn't beat
I
me.
could have snuck up on you just as easy.
Sure.
I knew you were talking to a villager. Just
Yeah,
need to go to the desert village.
yeah. It was in the village.
Wait, how do I
But
bring you here? What's the
you
command?
don't.
Wait, you use cheats?
Yeah.
Wow.
He
Terrible.
teleported to me and he still lost.
I thought he figured out some way to teleport, so that was like really cool. Never mind.
No. He
No.
teleported. Eh. Use
Slept
cheats.
with an Enderman or something like that. Rebound after you couldn't get me in bed, obviously.
This is
Okay,
my this is my plan to corner off the agricultural market.
oh, not gonna lie, pretty good.
That's what I'm
Pretty
saying.
good. Just needs
I was gonna make
investment.
it automated and everything, but there's no
Oh,
time.
okay. Yeah. Needs investment.
It's just like not enough
T-
demand for food to fuel
I,
it.
Cue our business idea.
I can. Hey, he pretty much has aeroponics going, bro. There we go.
Who?
Rohan.
Really?
No,
Like in
yeah.
real life?
No, no. In the game. Like in the game, but it's more like hydroponic. Because there's water.
Yeah.
It's not like a cheap
It's not really.
I used to do that. I used to do vertical farms in Minecraft. Like I would just stack them on top of each other.
Are you gonna use cheat? Oh my god. So that's what it took you. Hey, now you stole my stuff.
I really, oh my god.
Yeah, you stole everything. Now the game. Wow. How do I game mode 1? Wow, I can't do it.
Where are you? I'm coming to find you. Oh my god. Remember when you had the idea for a Stuco Minecraft game?
Stuco Minecraft?
No.
That, wow.
Hey, where are you, Rohan?
That's you.
God versus God. Come at me.
It's like that or zoom back. Oop. Got him.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, there's a chest here.
Yeah, that's all me.
Oop.
This was me. This is
I'm
my face. Stop stealing my stuff.
not stealing your stuff. I'm returning your stuff.
Well, thanks, man. Bloody
Honestly,
hell.
you stole some of my stuff.
What? What
Dude.
stuff? Hey,
The stuff
hey,
you
hey,
killed.
hey. What?
The stuff you took when you killed me.
Oh, I took some stuff and you killed you. I know I have so many resources. I don't even know.
Mhm.
If we were diamonds, then I would have known.
I'm
But
bored, so I'm gonna make a giant TNT explosion here. A crater here.
I have TNT.
Not enough to fund my expedition.
Alright.
nice things are good.
Move. The...
Here, I shall help you out. I don't know if this is helping.
Maybe. Oh,
Rohan, would you buy a machine that grows vegetables as a source of secondary income for you?
it's called a farm, Ewan.
Yeah. But like it grows it itself. So you just buy this machine and you put seeds in it and then take the vegetables out.
I
Every
mean,
now and
as
then.
secondary income, no, but like as a way to get like hard to source vegetables or something like that, or make my diet more healthy, yes. Because it would be very hard, I feel, to make a machine like
Oh,
that
this
that's
is
more efficient than agriculture. Oh, did you explode it?
Yeah.
Fly! It's too deep. It's too deep. There's no crater.
But
Okay, there is a crater.
yeah, okay, so
Not how I feel.
Rohan, do you know how much you pay for vegetables right now?
No idea. No.
Because I know that like this is something I learned recently, and
Uh,
I'm building on your point about the vegetables not really being um, like fully nutritious and fresh.
mhm.
And I learned that when you transport food, it loses its nutritional value, and and when it crosses state borders, at least in America, it needs to be sprayed with pesticides. So even if you're getting organic stuff, um, you are losing that. Um, you're
Mhm.
just losing any benefit of it being organic. And yeah, I just think that like urban farming is going to be such a huge deal because people will want that freshness even if it's more expensive,
Mhm.
and they'll definitely realize like, hey, it doesn't matter. Like, why am I buying these vegetables and eating them if they're just so just like not as healthy as they should be,
Mhm.
like so bad for me. And in that case, I'd rather spend like 30-40% more and just get like actual vegetables and maybe not eat it as often, but
Mhm.
Well,
like
yeah,
enjoy it.
like
Mhm.
So yeah, I think I think it's gonna be incredible how agriculture changes in the next 20 years,
Right.
and we're gonna see that using actual soil and sunlight for plant growth is gonna be something of the past. Like it's just not gonna happen anymore. And I
Interesting.
think, yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty huge. Um, so yeah, like lots of opportunity there.
Mhm. For sure, dude.
So I'm thinking if we surround me with a TNT thingy,
Mhm.
okay, will I propel forward?
I think you were.
What?
Where are you?
I am building TNT in the south. Wait, let me finish.
Oh, I think I'll leave that house. Yeah.
Just maybe.
What's
Yeah.
your plan, Rafik?
My plan is for
Wait,
me.
wait. Let's do an outro real quick, because this messing around can't be in the podcast. Well, yeah, that was it, guys. The UBI episode with a little bit of Jordan Peterson mixed in here and there. Definitely gonna be the last we hear that name here. Haha. Anyway, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's super fun. Thanks, Rithik and Ewan, for being so well read, so well prepared, and thanks to you non-existent people for being patient. Peace.
To all our
Yeah.
sponsors, just NordVPN.
Ah,
Rithik, what are you doing? Please tell me.
I am
Are you building a propulsion
building a
machine?
cannon.
You're building a cannon? A human cannon?
What? A
A
human
human
cannon.
cannon?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we light it? And so it shall begin. It does not propel me.
See, it doesn't send you
It
up
did
as
not.
much as it sends you, like, I don't
Just
know, to
yeah.
your death.
So yeah, I think that's a good conclusion to
Mhm.
our podcast.
Wait, let me just, like, tunnel to the bottom of the world and do a TNT for now.
You know what I think? Maybe what if we had? Are you doing a TNT tower from the end?
Ooh, there's, like, a little,
Oh good, that's a mine shaft.
that isn't much. Oh, what's this?
That's lava.
It's all dark. Help.
Yes. Just dig up. Just start breaking things.
wait, Ritik, you were saying something.
Oh
What
my
was you saying?
goodness. It's
Oh,
a,
you
it's
and you
like a
wanna
sea of
introduce our
lava.
next topic?
What is happening?
Wait.
Just before we go.
Oh, yeah. Children. It's gonna be great. We're gonna talk about
Do you want to, like,
the
elaborate on that a little bit, even just for legal purposes?
Yeah.
just how fantastic they are, you know?
Oh,
So I kind of messed up the command here. I think I'm sorry. I
What?
cursed both of us. I've cursed
No,
both of us.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
the,
go for it. Yeah.
the topic is on having children, like should you have children, and how to raise them well
Nice. You.
um, in the
Right.
modern world.
hmm That's
I
fun.
think it's going to be exciting.
I'm excited. Yeah. Do we want to have any guest star? Do you have like a mom guest star?
Yeah. Do you have a mom that you know? Someone in your network?
Yeah, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. There's got to be a woman in there somewhere.
Oh, I found
Yeah.
diamond.
How you bastard? You're not even looking for diamonds. Last I checked, you were drowning in a sea of lava.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I need to go. I'll
Alright.
talk to you guys later / next week.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
This is a
All
good
right.
one. See
This
ya.
was a good conclusion.
Mhm.
We'll end it with a view of diamonds. They're beautiful.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Sorry, Ritik.
Wait.
Okay,
No.
wait. I'll tell Craig to leave because I told him to join.